It's a big week of college basketball in the area, and this is one of the things that I love about this time of year is there's so many good college basketball programs around here. The power conference schools a lot of people know about, a bunch of really good, I almost hate to even use the term mid-major because Belmonts and Middle Tennessees of the world have proven themselves to be able to play with anybody out there. Belmont beating Vanderbilt on Monday nights. You got Middle Tennessee going to the NCAA tournament and winning each of the past 2 years. And then a bunch of other programs that are up and coming as well, like Lipscomb and Tennessee State. And this time of year, you oftentimes see them get together around here. It's a lot of fun. You have some really interesting regional and state rivalry matchups here in the early part of the season, which if you're a college hoops fan is a lot of fun. We had the big game on Monday night, Belmont setting an attendance record, beating Vanderbilt, a huge moment for the program. And now the Bruins get another one of these games, going to the Borough tomorrow night to take on Middle Tennessee. We're happy to be joined now by the head coach of Belmont, Rick Byrd. And Rick, I appreciate you taking some time for me tonight because I imagine, knowing you, you're up to your eyeballs in synergy right about now. How much Middle Tennessee film have you watched in the last 24 hours or so?
Not enough, Steve, probably, but enough to know how good they are. We've got our hands full for sure. I've said a lot this week that no team that we play on a regular basis does more with purpose than Kermit Davis's teams do. They're very well coached, and the problem is they've also got good players.
So we talked to Kermit Davis earlier today, and he said he looks forward to this game every year because of how much respect he has for your program. Do you look forward to this game?
No, not at all. Tell him the feeling is not mutual whatsoever. You know, it's been a good rivalry, and it's been. I mean, we appreciate that Vanderbilt played us a home and home, and I really appreciate that Kermit and Middle Tennessee State has continued to play this game. I mean, we played it when they were beating us, and then we had a pretty good run, and they kept playing it, and now they've beaten us twice in a row, and we're going to keep playing it. I think it's what you talked about. It's one of the games that people around Nashville that are interested in college basketball can look forward to in November or December before conference season rolls around.
They've won 2 in a row. You've actually won 7 of the last 10 in the series. Everybody knows about what they've done in the NCAA tournament the last couple of years. When you look at that program, it's obvious to say they've taken the next step because of what they've done in March, but when you just watch them play, how have they taken the next step?
Well, I think, and I don't, I don't want to make too many comments about somebody else's program, but it seems to me that in some of those years when we were beating them, kind of regularly, that Kermit just didn't quite have the kind of guys that were responding to him. That was sort of the word these days, the buzzword is buy-in to his system and his coaching and what he wanted to do. But that changed 3 or 4 years ago, and not only did it change in terms of the way his players performed regularly, game by game basis, he also got better players. And so, like I said, when you've got good coaching, guys that do what the coach asks them to do, and they're really good players, then that's why they've won those tournament games. I couldn't believe their seed or the fact that they were underdogs in the NCAA tournament game last year.
I couldn't either. I thought they deserved to be much higher, and I thought they were a favorite against Minnesota. And they proved a lot of people who thought that to be right with the way they went out and played. This type of game is obviously good for local college basketball, and for both of your RPIs, it figures that you'll both be good at the end of the year. So it's a great game from that perspective, win or lose. But how does the atmosphere and the opponent at this time of year help you maybe get across some of the things you're trying to get across to your team?
Well, as you know, we've started out three straight pretty rough ones. And
yeah, who came up with that schedule, by the way?
I don't know. I'm checking, and you know what? In this day and age, you got to take games where you can get them. And I knew that we could be 0-3 at the end of the stretch, and maybe still have a really good basketball team. So I feel good. I feel good about 1-2. But don't tell anybody I said that. But it's real good for our team. It's why we've always scheduled tough. Even when we weren't where we are now, I felt like playing good teams made us better. And really, we can talk about at-large and RPI and all that stuff, and we've had some teams that maybe were in and that were close to getting in, but at our level in our league, you just got to figure you got to be playing your best in March and win that tournament, and that's what we're trying to do with this schedule.
Belmont basketball coach Rick Byrd joining us here on SportsLine. I know you're getting ready for Middle Tennessee tomorrow night, but if you'll indulge me, take me back to Monday night and what that meant to more than 5,200 fans, a record crowd there at the Curb Center. Only the second time you've ever had a Power 5 team come in. And to top it all off, you win. You knock off Vanderbilt for the first time ever.
Yeah, that part of it, you know, the way you described it, it was really more important to me that we kind of tied a ribbon on all the work that all the folks at our athletic department did, in our school, in fact, to make that night as good as it could be. And you know, you feel pressure, or at least I do. You don't want to go out there and lay an egg and get beat by 25, which can happen anytime you play an SEC level team. And you really would love to get a win for that reason. There's a lot of reasons to want to win that game, but that's the way I felt about it. Was this is great because it was a great night. It would have been a great night if we'd lost the game, frankly, but that made it special.
So I wondered when I saw your schedule going into the year and knew you were going to Washington and then you'd be home to play Vanderbilt. Anytime you see those Power 5 teams, how do you match up inside generally is the question. And you lose Evan Bradds, maybe the most efficient low-post scorer I've ever seen in college basketball from a year ago. But the other night, Drew Windler and Amanze Egekeze, who aren't exactly your typical inside guys, but they were terrific, both scoring and on the boards for you. How much have they matured, and how much does that help you?
They both have matured a great deal. I would say that Dylan's taken a bigger step simply because he's played a role behind the scorers like Evan Bradds, Taylor Barnett, Nick Smith even. I think that was 19 or 20 points that we lost, and then the same amount that we lost from Evan. And so he's got great scoring potential, and Amanze is playing the best he's ever played. And we're just talking 2 games, so those guys still got something to prove. But he was always really important to us, and he was never, and probably isn't going to be, a huge scorer for us. So Dylan's ascension to scoring it like he has, and both those guys drove the ball well. We do that better. We may not shoot as good. I hope we will, but we have guys on our team that can finish at the basket, and that's not exactly been our modus operandi.
So you have 3 games in the next 4 days, I believe. What do you hope to learn about your team with that schedule?
There's a lot of things to learn. I mean, can we stay as focused and play with as much purpose as we have in the first 2 games? You can't let the win make you think that you have to do any less. And we certainly shouldn't think that going the middle and come back and have 2 home games. You can't relax. I think we're going to have to use more players. We're going to see a little bit more about the younger guys or the guys that haven't played as many minutes yet. And I think they'll start knocking down shots when they get to play more and feel more comfortable out there. But I think we'll know a lot more come Sunday afternoon when that game's over with about where we are and what we've got to do to get better.
Well, Rick Byrd, we appreciate the time tonight. Best of luck down there in the Borough tomorrow night. A big game. What do you go back to the film on now? Out of bounds plays?
I've got to look at out of bounds plays. You're exactly right. I hadn't got there yet.
All right, Coach. Well, enjoy it and good luck tomorrow night. We appreciate the time.
All right, see you.
All right, Rick Board. He is one of the absolute best. We got to take our final break. We'll be back after this.